What is an evangenital? Sounds like a Christian dick, doesn't it? Evangenital, or Christian pussy, whatever. All right, my name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the video. This question, I saw it on another channel. Somebody else is doing a video and used the term, and people were confused about it. So it's not that old. It's a good term. Let me go ahead and describe it. We're making up new terms these days to describe things better. For example, atheist and theist. Those are not the best two terms. There's an atheist. Everybody's born an atheist, and there's people that never heard of God before. They don't care about God. They don't talk about God. They don't talk about the God of Abraham. They don't believe in it. They're different than an anti-theist, somebody who goes after Christians all the time and they fight back and forth. Okay, so a Christian, typically they're kind of slow. They think that it's us against them. So if you're not agreeing with them, they tend to put you on the other side no matter what. All right, let's just look at what an evangenital is here, and we'll take it from there. An evangenital is a slang term used to describe someone who is born into an evangelical Christian family and has never questioned their faith or beliefs. These individuals are often seen as closed-minded and intolerant of other perspectives. They have been raised to believe that their way is the only right way. They may also be viewed as hypocritical as they espouse those values such as love and acceptance, while simultaneously condemning those who do not share their beliefs. Yeah, there's a Christian, all right. You're a hypocrite just by being a Christian. It's based in fear. I don't care what you say. For sin, you're going to hell unless you join Christianity. That is based in fear, not love. Don't join because it's lovely to do so. And if you don't, well, you're just going to go and, you'll die and you'll die. No, this is really, you're going to go to hell and suffer eternity, or go to heaven and have pleasure for eternity just for being born. If you join this religion, you get the good one. That's fear-based, not love. The evangenital mindset is characterized by a strong adherence to traditional Christian values. What are traditional Christian values? Look at Donald Trump in the White House, put there by Christians. What the fuck are Christian values? Christian values just means I'll do whatever the hell I want to, and if I believe in God, then God supports what I'm doing. This is kind of bad. Anyway, including strict interpretation of biblical teachings and a belief in the literal truth of Scripture. Okay, literal biblical people, you're the dumbest. You're absolutely brain dead. This can lead to a rejection of science, reason, and critical thinking, as these things are seen as threats to their worldview. Yep, they hate all those things. My channel is so quiet I don't run into it much, but I definitely do get people like this that will come at you and you understand something about them, that they're regurgitating something that you've known since third grade Sunday school. They've got nothing else. They're going to say it in a very angry, pissed off, you're stupid. They're going to go after science and tell you to start explaining how life comes from nothing. They're going to put it back on you as if you can't explain something. Meanwhile, they're not explaining anything. They're claiming life comes from supernatural when they can't demonstrate anything. As soon as a Christian starts talking to me about science, I shut them down. I say, you know what? You deny science. You haven't studied science. You don't have a degree in science. All you're doing is ignorantly saying hostile things about it without knowing about it. You and I can talk about the Bible. Watch how fast they leave. They can't talk about the Bible. They don't even know what the Bible says. But they will tell you that science is bullshit. Meanwhile, they haven't learned a damn thing. Evangelicals may also be resistant to change and uncomfortable with diversity, as they view anything outside of their narrow understanding of Christianity as sinful or wrong. Yeah, there's your love, all right. They arm themselves and call you a demon. One of the most concerning aspects of evangelical mentality is its potential for harm. Because these individuals are so deeply entrenched in their beliefs, they may be unwilling to consider alternative viewpoints or listen to dissenting voices. This can lead to a lack of empathy and understanding towards others, particularly those who are marginalized or oppressed. Yeah, minorities, gays, guess what? You're in the target of the evangelicals who have not resolved their childhood butt dart games. In extreme cases, evangelicals may even engage in harmful or violent behavior towards those who do not conform to their beliefs. Yeah, it's called war. Are they good at that? Christians? Muslims? Jews? Oh, hell yes, they're good at it. That's what they're best at. Despite these negative connotations, some evangelicals may find comfort and meaning in their faith. For them, Christianity provides a sense of purpose. Yeah, this must be done by AI. Of course, that's why they're doing it. They find comfort in it because they're ignorant. They don't want to know anything else. It's a comfort. It's a drug. I'm just going to jump down to here. In conclusion, evangenital is a term that describes individuals who have been born into and raised within a strict evangelical Christian environment, often characterized by a rejection of science and critical thinking, intolerance towards diversity, and potential for harm towards others who do not share their beliefs. While some may find comfort in their faith, it is important to critically examine one's belief and values to avoid falling into a harmful and closed mindset. All right, questioning that's a brain type. Most people won't. People that do, they question it. They come up through their religion and they question it. They've got something going on that causes them to deviate. I was raised in, I would say it was a transitioning evangelical home. It moved from Little Rock, Arkansas up to Seattle, Washington, and that's where I was born. So I'm of that family, but in a new place. So I get a chance to, I got some things going on. The home life is one way. I go outside the home and look around, and life is different. So they're so radically different that I know something's wrong there. But also, we go to church. We are also whipped with belts. The home was, we were all boys. But when my mom and her sister were girls, they were sexually molested, physically beaten and molested in the home. It's a part of the culture. It seems to be. And I can remember my mom angrily saying, I will never have girls. I will never have girls. And somehow she had all boys. Yeah, all of us were boys. Anyway, I have a brother that was 11 years old. Myself and he were close. I was 9. And he committed suicide one day. He took a rope and went in the woods because he learned that day in Sunday school that as soon as he died, he'd go to heaven. He took his life that day because he wanted to leave the home and to leave this confusion and the abuse that was happening there. However, we were fortunately able to go to school and learn things that were, more advanced and whatnot. So, but I can also remember being the kid in Sunday school. There is a brain type. I've seen other people do this. There's the kid in class that sometimes does this, and I was one of them that would ask questions about, there were weird things. Sometimes they were silly. I would get into the stories, and I felt like I was there. Like when you hear the story about the fig tree and Jesus commanded it to die. I was actually, as I'm listening to that story in my imagination, I'm right there on that road with him. I'm with him and the disciples, and we're all hungry, and he sees that tree. It's not producing, and he commands it to die. And I reach over and I smack him in the arm because we're buddies. And I say, why didn't you just have it become heavily laden with figs? We're hungry here. You had the power to kill it. What's going on? You'd ask those kind of questions. So how come Jesus didn't just have it become full of figs? Teacher would be like, well, that's a good question. I don't know, but that's what happened. This is the glory of Jesus's power, or something like that. And you're like, oh, that doesn't make sense. You're hearing things that are very abstract from them when your mind doesn't, you're not going to sit there and go, oh, okay, I believe that. You're questioning it. Your mind processes because you have a different brain type. You're probably going to be an INFP or an INFJ. I guarantee it. You're going to have a big spatial awareness. You're going to be introverted. You're going to have the inability to disconnect from the environment. It's going to be that kind of a brain. That explains how you get out of it, or how you can get out of it, but that's a rare person, and that most people do just get into it. My entire family, they are. I've got family members, I swear they are evangelicals. That it describes them perfectly. They deny science until it's time to go to the doctor. Yeah, they'll pick and choose. But anytime it has to do with life sciences, yeah, no way. It's creation is the only possible thing. And they will just say things that are like, oh, you're stupid to believe that. They actually will utilize verbiage that you look at and go, your mind has never been opened. You never once went and looked and learned on your own. You're just being told what to believe, and you're just hooking right into it and becoming a little tool in that mechanism. I can see that happening. I've left it. Those are not my family. My family are the ones who do good work. All right. Well, anyway, that's it for this video. I'm getting off subject here. I ramble off sometimes. Certainly, it's a new term, and it's used to describe those people that are very, you can see them. When it gets into that whole, they need to maintain this and all that, they're not thinking through those things. They just believe something. They're very simple, organic programs. They're not processing anything. They're the tribal tool that is there to hunt, forage, and reproduce, and kill anything that seems like it's a danger. That's the safest way to survive. That's the major brain type, and that's what's happening right there. Except we're not on the savannah anymore. We're now in civilization. So it's still functioning that way, but you see it in different layers. You see it come out in different ways, but it's still a very tribal in appearance, very much me against you. We are intelligent now, so I can't just act like an animal. So I'm utilizing my religion to justify that. It's not me doing that. It's my religion. It's my belief. You see, I'm bound to it. Yeah, you're evil because you're not a part of what I got going on over here. Yeah, you can tell it's tribal, can't you? Holy shit. See you in the next video.